Hey guys, how's everybody doing? So today's video is going to be a makeup and hair tutorial for this Halloween she-devil look. I'm super excited to be partnering up with Garnier and featuring one of my favorite products of theirs, the Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water. So why don't we go ahead and get right into it. So this is MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I'm using that to prime my lids, and then I'm going to set that with Tempera from the Anastacio Modern Renaissance palette. Then I can start on my transition, so I'm going to begin using burnt orange and just buffing that into the crease with a fluffy brush. It doesn't have to be perfect at all at this point. Then going in with golden ochre and just swishing that all over that color to blend out the edges. And like I said, I'm just going back and forth between burnt orange and golden ochre, just layering those colors on and blending, layering and blending again. I'm also sweeping some of burnt orange onto my lid, and then I'm gonna dip into red ochre just to start to get that red demonic vibe going on. So I am layering that right into the crease. I'm using a Zoeva 228 Luxe crease brush. It's sort of more of a pointed crease brush, so it's really great for getting in and making that smoky outer V shape. Moving back to my transition shadows, I'm gonna use those to blend over that red tone as well. And moving on down to Venetian red, which has just a bit more pink to it. I'm going to add that in towards the outer corner and the outer V just to bring in a bit of a different color. And then I'm going to once again blend that out, that outer edge, with burnt orange as well on this fluffy NYX crease brush. And before I put down the black shadow on my lid, I'm going to go in with Corrupt eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, and I want to do the blended edge of that black shadow around my lid first. It's just going to be easier than trying to blend that into those reddish tones from scratch. So I'm working that in and then just going back with Venetian red and red ochre just to blend that out like I did all the other shadows. And I really wanted this to be the most intense, dramatic, kind of sooty black smoky eye as I could get it. So I wanted to use this black gel eyeliner by Sigma. This is in the shade Wicked. So I just applied that all over my lid and then went back in with that Corrupt eyeshadow and packed it on top to really set it and deepen it even more. I should have blended out the edge of the gel liner when it was still wet. I didn't really do that, so I had to go back in with that shadow and really work at blending the edge of it. But it turned out okay, just a bit more work, so just a tip for you guys at home. So after I've done blending out the edges of that gel liner base and setting it, I'm going back to red ochre, and we're just going to buff that around the outer corners and the edges of that black shadow. This is where I really start to pull that shadow outwards and up and blend it into more of a dramatic shape, and I added more black eyeshadow to get more of a cat eye shape with that. So with all this blending and everything, it did get a little messy here. I even touched my face accidentally at one point, and I had a streak of eyeshadow across my face. Luckily, that was a quick fix. I just went back in with my Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water, the all-in-one waterproof makeup remover and cleanser. You just want to make sure you give the bottle a good shake before you pour some onto a cotton round. I just hold it on the area for a couple seconds, and then you can gently wipe everything away. It doesn't sting my eyes, which is amazing. So the micelles in this product are like little magnets, so they capture and lift away dirt and oil, and they leave your skin perfectly clean, but never too dry. It still feels hydrated, and I love that there's nothing to rinse away, so I always keep it on hand when I'm doing my makeup, especially dramatic looks. So the Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water is $8.99 and available at mass retailers nationwide or GarnierUSA.com. After prepping my lower lash line with some more of that soft ochre paint pot, I'm going to fill in my waterline using the NARS Kohl Liner in black, and then applying more of that Corrupt eyeshadow by Makeup Geek, first to the outer corner and connecting it around, and then really filling in the lower lash line with it, kind of giving a nice angled look to the lower lash line and to the eye. Now it's time to make this smoky eye look a little bit more evil. So I'm going to take the red ochre shadow again and start buffing that over top of the black shadow we applied to the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take more of Venetian red and pretty much just start laying that on thick on the lower lash line and just blending it down and really blowing everything out. After I diffused that a bit more with a fluffy brush, I went back with my Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water just to clean up any red or pink shadows that traveled a bit too far down my face. Then I applied these lashes that I found at Halloween Spirit. They originally had these little feathers on them, I think if you're going to be an angel or a bird or something, but I just ripped those off and applied those babies right on and took some more of the Wicked Gel Liner just to cover up any glue that I had. I went back in with the Benefit They're Real Mascara. For a pop of red in the inner corner, I'm going to first use the Too Faced Glitter Glue, and then on top of that, apply the Peaches and Cream pigment in the shade Phoenix, which is a really pretty cranberry color. So it's just going to give us like a sparkling metallic red pop in that inner corner around our tear duct. And then it is time for the face. So I started off by putting down a layer of my Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer, and then for my foundation I used my Dior Skin Forever foundation in the shade 22, and I'm using the same brush as I used to apply my primer. It's a Sigma Concealer Blend Kabuki F79. It is fantastic. It's a little bit more fluffy than a traditional like synthetic kabuki brush. It just swirls the product on so easily. I love it. And then I used my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in light medium to conceal my under eye circles and highlight different areas around the face. I used a damp beauty blender to blend out my concealer, and then used that same beauty blender to apply my Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder under my eyes, and then I dusted away any excess of that and set my foundation using the MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation in the shade NC42. I was so bummed because I recently ran out of my Lancome Brow Expert, so here I'm using the Benefit Brow in the shade number 1, and then I'm going to clean that up with a bit of concealer underneath, and I used a tiny little kabuki brush by BH Cosmetics just to get in there and blend out that concealer. I'm not going to spend too much time on this next step, but I am going to use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish and Gimme Sun just to sculpt out my face a little bit and bring some color to the face, and then I want a really severe contoured look, so I'm going to use my Benefit Hoola Bronzer. This isn't a severe bronzer, severe shade, but I'm just going to apply it with a really heavy hand just to get that really cut look to the hollows of my cheeks. I wanted to do a tinted highlight to just get that otherworldly feel, so I'm going to use the shade Pink Heart from my Anastasia Moonchild Glow Kit. So I applied that one to the top of my cheekbones, and then for the smaller highlights like my nose and my Cupid's bow, I used the ochre highlighter in Rodeo Drive. And for my lip color, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, but I started off with this one by Lipland. This is a liquid lipstick in the shade Gamma. This shade is a gorgeous like blackened burgundy color. It is so vampy and amazing, but I did feel like I had a lot of the same colors going on the rest of my face, so I wanted to do something a bit different with the lip, bring in some more color in detail. So I took some more of that Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water and just removed some of the center of that lip color, sort of creating an instant ombre effect. Then I filled in the center of that with another liquid lipstick by Lipland. This one is called Vixen, a bit of a brighter red this time, and I went back and forth between those two just to blend the two colors together. This is sort of a random time to do this step, but I did take some more of my Benefit Brow and dotted it in two places on my face just to make some faux beauty marks to make it more sultry. And then took more of that Phoenix pigment and drew a stripe down the center of my bottom lip just using an eyeliner brush. And then I'm taking my Tarte Eye Jewels glitter liner, and I'm going to use the gold glitter side and just draw a thin stripe right in the middle of that red pigment just on my bottom lip. If you're just doing this on your bottom lip, make sure it dries before you relax your mouth and your lips go back together so it doesn't transfer. And then I'm going to take more of that Pink Heart color from the Moonchild Glow Kit and just apply that to my décolleté and my shoulders just to highlight my body. And then it's time for the finishing touch, our devious little devil horns. So I felt like the easiest way to create devil horns from your hair is to start with a foundation and actual headband, which I found at Halloween Spirit, and I just started off by wrapping some single weft hair extensions. These are by Bellamy. They are shade number 60, Ash Blonde. And I just started off by wrapping those around the actual headband piece and then clipping them back on themselves to secure it. Then I separated the top half of my hair into two little sections, two little ponytails, and tied that off with some elastics and took the headband and just got it positioned on my head where I thought it should be. As you can see, I also wrapped some double weft hair extensions around the actual horns. That didn't completely cover it, so I took the little ponytail that I had left of my natural hair and started wrapping that around to sort of conceal the red headband underneath. And then when I was done, I pinned that and just sort of spread out the hair to cover up the headband even more. So I tried to spread my hair out on that headband as best I could and just pin it to keep it in place, but ultimately it's kind of hard to cover up all the red. So I decided to take some color hairspray in a red shade. You can find this at any Halloween store. And I just sprayed that down on top of the horns. It kind of adds a cool effect, and it also blends in some of the red from the headband, so you can't really tell the difference, and it looks like it's just supposed to be that color. So that is it for this She-Devil Halloween makeup and hair tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you try it out for yourselves at home, make sure you send me a picture and tag me on Twitter or Instagram, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And thank you guys so much for checking it out. Happy Halloween, and I will see you very soon in my next video.